As races begin to creep up on you, I feel like a lot of us get out there and get really nervous, really anxious. We're not too sure if we're really ready, and we really start to question, did I prepare? Am I going to be ready for this race that I'm getting ready to run? I'm just about to get ready to go out and run, and I decided I would make this video because I have so many people going out to run Javelina 100 right now, and I have asked them a question that I think all runners should ask themselves. And that question is, what will make you feel 100% confident or as confident as possible to go out and tackle this race that at the end of the day is going to be this big, audacious, scary goal? Hopefully, you have asked this question to yourself, or your coach, or a friend, or someone has asked you this question well advanced before that actual race comes. So you have time to really think it out, really plan it out, and do what you need to do to become super confident within yourself, within your training, mentally, physically. Check all of the boxes to be able to get you to that start line, foot ready to cross over, feeling 100% confident and ready to tackle this crazy goal. As a coach, I'm going to be 100% honest. I hear and see some of the craziest things that runners think they need to do or want to do before a race to become super confident and super ready to tackle said race. A prime example, I have tons of athletes that assume they need to run 60 to 80 miles for prepping for a 100-mile race. That is not always the case. The reason being, if I had someone go run 60 to 80 miles just in a training run, honestly, that would be beyond taxing on the body. That is so much load in one sitting. And yes, I am saying this realizing that some people use 50 miler or 100K to prep for said 100 miler that they're going to use as their A race. But the reason you would use a 50 miler or 100K as a training run is to get prepared. And that could be what you need to feel confident and comfortable to go tackle a 100 miler. But I'm not going to just randomly program it in your training unless it is planned. Then that's a whole different conversation. But the real question that a lot of people don't ask themselves is, what will genuinely make me feel really confident, really comfortable, and just like there's no doubt in your mind that you can handle this new distance you're doing. Maybe it's a marathon, maybe it's 100K, maybe it's a 100 miler. It doesn't matter the distance. What matters is the confidence that you feel inside to be able to go tackle said race. So I'm going to use an example of training for a 100 miler and kind of explain my process as a coach and how I approach asking them questions and getting them prepped and ready for a 100 miler. Typically during coaching, during the training, I'm always asking them how they're feeling, what's going on, how X distant feel, and if they're feeling super confident and comfortable in the runs, if they have any questions, we're dialing in nutrition, hydration, all of that. But also, a main thing I'm doing is trying to see how much confidence they have in themselves. Obviously, when working together, I am getting to know them as a runner. I'm getting to witness them through all of the data as a coach from a runner's point of view, which is really, really cool. But I'm also paying attention to like how they respond to things and seeing how they handle the distance, what they're thinking and processing and training. That way we can get them ready for said distance. So in a 100-mile training plan, everyone always asks, what's the longest long run I'm going to do? How long am I going to run? All of that good stuff. And it truly does depend. But one thing that I'm always asking is like, well, why do you want to know? Like, what are you thinking? What is there a certain number in mind? Because some people will come to me and like, yeah, I figured like I'd do a 5 or 6 hour and that would kind of be it. And sometimes that is. It really will depend, but sometimes it is an 8 or a 10 hour, and you're like, what the heck? And when I say that, I don't typically program someone to just go out and run 8 or 10 hours unless like we got a specific reason. A lot of times we are doing a 50K or a 50 miler or even a 100K in preparation for the 100 mile, which is the A race. When doing stuff like that, obviously the time on feet for one solo run is going to be very high. Obviously, we're tapering into that. We're having a good rest and recover after that race, and then we're continuing to train for the 100 miler. But I don't typically throw in these crazy long runs as a solo long run unless that athlete really needs it. And that is a conversation between me and the athlete, making sure they're confident, comfortable, and ready to go. A lot of times, what I will do is have back to back runs. So, back to back runs, I'm sure you've heard of them. They're really, really great to do as an athlete. The reason being is because having two back to back long runs gives you the ability to have all of the volume you would like without all of the load all at once. So you split up the run. Maybe it's a 4 hour and a 4 hour, or a 4 hour and a 2 hour, or 3 hour and a 3 hour. The variety is there. But the purpose is to get in a bunch of volume and test out these legs. You run one run, then go the next day, sleep, eat, repeat, and you go run on tired legs, which is great. You're showing yourself as a runner that you can still move efficiently without hesitation on tired legs, which is a huge, huge thing to do as runners because, as you know, when it gets to be mile 60, 70, 80, you are tired and the body is ready to give up. But if you can teach your legs and teach your mind, hey, I can run on tired legs, that's one part of the craziness within this. Sometimes I do have athletes come to me and say, a prime example, if an athlete's never done an ultra before, maybe the longest they've ever done was a marathon, and they come to me running a 100 miler, I like to set in milestones when I have an athlete like that because typically, sometimes, just for me to see them, I want to see at least a 50K, sometimes maybe like 35, 40, sometimes even 50 miles. It really depends. Obviously, I am a true believer in the philosophy of the US certification with the minimum maximal principle, and I do truly, truly follow that. But every once in a while, I have an athlete that's a little more concerned about getting in some good volume that I'm going to actually, push them a little more than I would. And the certification says that, but I'm just saying, like, the minimum maximum is tried and true. But what I'm saying is that there is times that we will be up a little higher in something because I do want to get them out there and see how they feel after running maybe 40 miles for said 100 miler because maybe they've never ran anything over like 26 miles. So you have to prepare for things like that. But again, back to back long runs are fantastic. I highly encourage them, and I genuinely feel like a lot of people benefit from them. So I know it's a lot of information, and I could rant and just rant about running and things to do and options to do. But again, this whole purpose of this is remember to really ask yourself, what will make me feel super confident, super comfortable, super ready to tackle your race that is this big, audacious goal? Sometimes you have to have the hard conversations with yourself, and it could be finding where these insecurities lie and then figuring out what to do to overcome said insecurities. Sometimes it's going back in your training and looking at all of the hard work you've done. If you use Training Peaks, all the green that is in your training, and see, I've actually done everything I really need to do. I just need to work this mental side of things because I'm questioning myself when I have no reason to question myself. And honestly, sometimes it's just talking it through with a friend, a coach, or a partner, and really just getting it all off your chest. That way you feel like the weight of the world is off your shoulders. It can be that simple. And again, don't worry about whatever it is. Sometimes it will be this crazy audacious thing that you probably don't need to do to be ready for a 100 miler. So talking with a coach or someone that knows what they're talking about will definitely help and get you on the right path to go out there and crush your next race.